Um, okay, so I think this is what I want to share. Um, all right. I'm assuming that everybody is seeing the title slide of my the
Yes,
presentation I give.
yes, we
Um,
are.
excellent. Okay, so um, I've updated this. It's basically the same presentation as last fall, but I have included more information, updated information, how things have changed. The landscape has changed a little bit, but it is largely things are about the same. But we'll get into the changes. Um, so let's see. Well, I think I've got to go over here to do this. There we go. All right. As always, when somebody comes to you for with questions about medication costs, the very thing you first thing you do is check for government programs, low income subsidy, MSP, that kind of thing. Um, if somebody has Medicare A, B, and also a retiree plan, um, uh, sometimes they can use manufacturer copay cards if they don't have Part D coverage. Um, sometimes they can, sometimes they can't. It really depends. Um, Uh, there's the manufacturer assistance programs, which most of us are somewhat familiar with. Those are the ones that I use the most to get medication for free for the patients. Um, there are private copay assistance foundations that make grants to individuals to cover copays for medications that treat like a specific condition. And those sometimes have money. Quite often they don't, but we like to check them. Um, and discount cards and coupons. Uh, we'll get more into this, but sometimes that can be cheaper than insurance. It just depends. And then there are discount online pharmacies. We'll talk about that for a minute or two. So government assistance first. You guys, this is your sandbox. Okay, you know more about all this stuff than I do, but the Social Security low income subsidy. Now it is full assistance if you're 150% or less of poverty level. Um, the website. There are Medicare savings programs. You guys know this stuff too. We don't have to go over it in detail. Uh, and Medicaid Classic or the ABD program. And yeah, the eligibility for this is somewhat of a black box. Um, they're not necessarily like hard and fast things that they publish, um, but I know that you've talked with people that deal with this also. Um, uh, Medicaid ABD does not cover prescriptions, is my understanding, or like Part D prescriptions. They with that ABD coverage, I believe you get LIS, and that's supposed to cover your prescriptions with a Part D plan. That's my understanding. Okay, so manufacturer copay assistance. Like I said, this is not something you're going to run into a lot. Um, there is quite often, like, some nominal front beginning of the copay you have to pay, like 10 or 5 or $25 or something like that. And then there's like a maximum copay coverage or that they'll cover. So if somebody has a prescription for, just off the top of my head, Eliquis, you know, and they have like retiree coverage, you know, I'm just pulling this off the top of my head. The Eliquis copay card might be available for people with retiree coverage. It might not. I have not looked into that. I should probably have done that. But it is there's like you pay the first $25, and then the card covers the next 150. If there's anything left, you're responsible for that too. That's how those things work. These are not means tested. Anybody can get one. And usually the best place to find this stuff is the drug website. And right now, it's only available to Medicare patients when the patient also has some employer-sponsored or retiree coverage and no Part D. If the patient has Part D, then no, they can't use this. Even if prescriptions are being paid for by the retiree coverage, the fact that they have Part D, no, they can't use this. Okay, so, and this is where the manufacturer assistance programs. These are the ones that deferral to me. I have a conversation with the patient, and we talk about their income level. You know, is there a program that helps people with Medicare, that provides medications at no cost? Usually enrollment is for 12 months, except for people with Medicare or other insurance. Some of these plans also cover people with any kind of insurance, but they're means tested only on income. Some have, you know, $30,000 year income, $10 million, can still use these programs as long as their income under their income limit. So the Medicare D patients, these are initially designed for people without insurance, but a lot of them will help people with Medicare. There are some differences in the eligibility requirements and also the term how long they're able to help people. So basically, what will happen is instead of being for 12 months, the assistance for people with Medicare runs through the end of the year. Medicare resets. There are minor levels. There were some programs that had income levels of like about 400 or 500% that are now 300% of federal poverty level. It's not across the board. You know, some that I thought for sure would probably be trimming back their assistance programs, specifically those for some, no, still 400% probably apply and get the insulin for free. Some of them will not help people who are eligible for LIS. Actually, most of them won't. If you are eligible for LIS, or if it appears that you might be eligible for LIS, you need to apply for the low income subsidy and get a denial letter. A lot of times I'll help people who have incomes that are below 150% of poverty level. And what I'll do is, but they have assets, they're not eligible for LIS. I will refer for assistance in applying for the low income subsidy. For these couple of, not a lot, but a few that will help people. So that's manufacturer assistance. That's what most of what I do is. The other thing, let me know if I'm getting a message that my internet connection is not necessarily stable. So give me, I get like, but
yeah, you've been breaking up just a little bit, Rod.
Anything like that. Okay.
You have been breaking up a little bit. Yeah.
Foundation. Okay.
It might help if you turn your camera off.
That's a good idea. Let me do that.
Yep, so that often helps with this issue.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Video.
Yep. And then we actually have a question while we're stopped, if you don't mind. I don't mean to interrupt you. But Lou is wondering, is Social Security income included in means testing, even if it isn't taxed?
Yes, it is still income. There are a couple of programs that use adjusted gross income instead of gross income. Okay. And in those cases, those very cases, then whatever, then whatever the adjusted gross be basis for that. So, yeah, let's see. Move that over there too. So, copay assistance foundation grants. There's like 5 or 6 and that make grant eligible for specific disease states. What they do is, if you have this disease and you are getting a medication that is approved for the disease on the foundation to treat the disease, you can get copays. It's usually distributed as a pharmacy card that the pharmacy is secondary. If the pharmacy has a problem with that, which some people have Kaiser, and then what you can do is and pay the copay, submit a claim, and they will cut you a check. Usually the checks are pretty quick. The is available or is limited by when for that specific disease. So if you'll see the site at the bottom of the slide, fundfinder.org. Recommend going ahead and going there and getting an account that lists all
Rod, we just lost you for quite a little bit there. So what we might want to do is you might want to sign out and then come back in and get a better fresh connection, and we can just sit here and wait for a few minutes. Is that okay?
Okay, I'll be right back.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
Hope everyone's okay with that.
Do.
I'm gonna pause the recording while we're waiting for him. All right, we're good.
Okay. So let me go back here. All right. This screen again. Okay. All right.
Great, we're all set. Thank you. We have the slides.
That's okay. So basically, I just say, go ahead and set up an account. Peruse it. You might find it useful for yourself. Basically, you look for disease that you're concerned with, and then double click on it, and it will open up a page telling you what foundations have, if there's any money available, that kind of thing. A lot of these foundations have wait lists that you can sign up for, or they have email you can sign up for whenever money becomes available. It's a good option. For one thing, if you've got a foundation paying a large, that money counts towards that $2,000 out-of-pocket cap. Definitely lower your overall copays depending. All right. Then get back over here and do that. And coupons. Discount cards and coupons are preferred. Now, you can, so if a discount card to the pharmacy and give it to the pharmacist it's likely that they'll hand it back to you and say, you can't use this, you have insurance. Well, you can use it. You can't use it and use your insurance. You can tell the pharmacist, I do not want to use my insurance medication. Please rebill this using this discount card. Or you can say, do you have any discount cards approved for you guys? Would it make it any cheaper? That kind of thing. The point is that you generally have to be, when you talk to the pharmacist, to say, hey, I don't want for this, because they're going to default to billing insurance, regardless of it's the cheapest way to get the medication. My mom used it for medication that was pretty cheap card, and I was able to get it for her with a discount card for about $12 through her insurance. So, insurance is, especially if it's probably not going to be the cheapest way to get that medication. The websites down here, the ones they've got pretty good prices, and so check these for those kind of medications. All right. Discount pharmacies. So generally speaking, the pharmacies don't process any kind of insurance claims. Amazon now will process some claims, but also retail chain pharmacies like Walmart, say, things also have low-cost generic formularies like the $4 $10 generics. which depending on the plan, they're probably not going to be cheaper than the drug. They're going to be like the tier 1 and tier 2 medications. But if you can certainly check that to see if it's on one of those low. Okay, still unstable. Are we okay?
You're breaking up a little bit, but I don't know what else we can really do about it at this point.
Okay.
And it's just a word here and there so far. So
okay, all right. Yeah. Frequently asked questions. Oh, yeah, for the disc. Yeah, pharmacies there. No major. Like I said, there have been some programs are reducing income limits have changed. They are all the same. The income limit for all of these, none of them have out-of-pocket requirements. It is good to know that of the 3 programs, Lilly Care is the only program that will ship to the patient's home. Medication be shipped to the prescribing doctor's office, which in the case of University of Washington or Sweden is problematic because they will not accept those shipments. Other diabetic medications. Non-insulin injectables, such as Ozempic, Victoza, there's not a program for Mounjaro. Changes for those, because those are the same programs that provide the insulin. There have been some changes, primarily with AstraZeneca. They're a little bit more picky about the documentation. I think there's still 300% of federal poverty level. Is still 400, and Behringer is 250. So no huge changes here, but AstraZeneca is a little bit more picky. Inhalers. Changes for these programs. AstraZeneca is the go-to for this. Like I said, they're a little picky on documentation, but 300% of federal poverty level. For the GSK, they still have that $600 out-of-pocket requirement. 300. Behringer, the income limit is 200%, and there's no out-of-pocket requirement. So no major changes for those. The anticoagulants, they haven't really changed anything. Xarelto. This year, there is no program. It used to be that from April through December, Xarelto directly from the manufacturer for $89 a month. No longer the case. They still have the patient assistance program. Spent 4% of your income out of pocket before you're eligible. That can get to be a sizable amount of money. Yeah, all programs continue to have financial, and they vary by program. The issue is probably not one that you have to deal with a lot, but will help people who are not citizens or status. It just depends. Once again, in Washington, call Kelly. For Western Washington, the information that is helpful for me is contact information. I say kind of insurance. Make sure that if they've got a part, sometimes I get referrals for people to pick out. That's, I know a little bit about it. That's really subject experts. So if somebody just needs help, then you guys are up. That's your sandbox. That process, they realize that, hey, I've got a medication that's going to cost a month and I can't afford that. Then you refer them to me. Basic information and household size, basic income, yeah, and household size helpful, but I can also get that from them when I talk with them. Let's see. I'm gonna re-enable my video. So, like I said, not a lot has changed. Mostly, it is around income limits for. We're seeing that play out largely more expensive specialty meds, income limits. But, case basis. So if you have someone who is, thinking that they might not have, they may not be able to afford them, refer them to me. Once you have picked out a drug plan for them. Okay. All right. Anything else? Does anybody have questions?
Yeah, if anyone has questions and you want to raise your hand, you can use the react on the bottom in the heart. If you move your mouse, you'll get your control panel in the heart. Your raise hand function is there.
Yeah. So I'm looking 2 messages that came in before, or actually, yeah. So yes, Monjuro has a savings card for $25. Somebody has Medicare, they are not an eligible patient. They have that for Zepbound. If somebody, so here's another thing. For Monjuro, for Zepbound, which is the weight loss version of Medicare will now allow drug plans to cover individuals with obstructive sleep apnea. It's not on a formulary. It has to be gotten through a formulary, and the patient and the doctor can request that from the insurance company. Likewise, Wegovy, which is the weight loss form Ozempic, is approved for people heart failure. I believe it is. Required to cover it, but they're allowed to cover it, the insurance companies. So for yeah, have the provider formulary exceptions for those medications. Anything else, Lou?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
That's
Yep.
okay.
Would you prefer that we go through you or through Kelly if we're in Eastern Washington? I've been using Kelly up until now.
So yes, if it is like east of the mountains, better off probably reaching out to Kelly. Sometimes she's a little harder to get a hold of. Administrative stuff for our organization. Otherwise, if you can't get a hold of her and you're like anywhere west of, or excuse me, east of Yakima or Ellensburg, you can go ahead and reach out to me. It's not like, no, I can't help you.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Does Lily
Yeah.
have a discounted savings card for Zepbound for Medicare patients?
So there is, for Zep, both of them. For people, patients who are not eligible for the quote unquote savings card, the copay card, they do have like manufacturer pricing where you can buy the medication. It's about $500 a month. And it's set up. You can't really buy and then meter it out. You have to buy it on a regular basis in order to what I suggest doing is going to the Wegovy website and click on the savings, and it will talk about these different kinds of savings, including the direct from manufacturer savings program. And so, that's an option if a patient part of that very narrow exception for Wegovy. But you're not eligible for that with any more questions? All righty.
Yeah, it looks like that's it.
Well, Noreen, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you later. Everybody,
Okay.
on my phone, if you have questions, feel free to pick up a phone and give me a call. Okay.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Rod. And just a reminder to everyone that I will be sending those, I'll be sending the PowerPoint out after. And Rod, I don't know if you've sent that to me or not yet, but I will look forward to getting to it if you haven't.
I think I sent the slides and everything to Amy.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording.